I just went, Sanjay, this is me, I'm back. And, I'm here to work.
He was in London, I was here, and somewhere I said, this guy's enjoying life too much. He's not bothered.
And that was also a hesitation for me. Not a hesitation, but I was like, are you sure you see me in this role? Because after I read it, I was like, whoa.
Audience today is extremely heartless.
Okay.
And they're selfish. As long as they're getting entertained, they're happy. The minute you take them for granted, it's over. My impression of him is more from his dad than him. I used to worship.
That follows me everywhere.
Yeah, so when you see Qurbani, there is every scene, he's gone and used every angle, music, performance. The same thing happens when you watch a Mani Ratnam film.
Yes.
Okay, the same thing used to happen when I used to watch a Mukul Anand film, a JP Datta film. Even when I saw Gangubai, I was like, wow, I felt I was watching an Amitabh Bachchan film from the 70s.
To my surprise, which I didn't believe at that minute, he offered me a film on the spot right there and there.
So yeah, he's definitely not an Amir from Rangila.
Hi, this is Sheetal and you are watching Pinkvilla. Such an exciting day today as I'm in conversation with the visionary filmmaker Sanjay Gupta and my favorite, the one whose comeback has made everyone super happy, the one and only Fardeen Khan. Welcome to Pinkvilla, guys.
Thank you.
I must say that trailer dekhte hi, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh my God, what a gripping trailer, and I can't wait to watch the movie when it's out on 6th of September. So I want to start off by asking you, you've made so many movies, right? What made you want to tell this story and how did you bring it on screen?
See, I'm in touch with agents all over the world for remake rights and things like that. It was during the lockdown, the first lockdown. I was in my farmhouse in Khandala and I got a mail from my agent and he sent me this link and said, if you like this film, let me know. So I saw the film and it's called Rock, Paper, Scissors and it just blew me away completely. And I just said, fine, let's do it. And I hired, everybody is working from home. So I got in touch with Hussain Dalal and his brother and told them, you all are sitting at home, I'm sitting at home, let's just start writing it. And that's how it happened.
But this is the genre which you've made many times, right? What draws you to this genre? I really want to know.
I enjoy crime drama. Even when I'm watching, you'll rarely find me at home watching a comedy or a romantic film or even a social drama for that matter. I enjoy crime, and a crime drama will always have conflict. And to me, that is very important.
It also reveals the darker side of our nature, which we all have. Yeah. And when it's told through a good story, it's people relate to it because they recognize it within themselves, and that's what makes it so interesting, and that's what draws you in. Yeah. So you put yourself in their shoes, and what would I do in this situation? And all crime dramas, you automatically think of what would I do in that situation?
What would I do? Yeah.
If I was faced with this.
Absolutely. Fardeen, sir came to you with this movie I think at a time when you wanted to make a comeback, right? So what's the first thing he told you on call?
No, I first came into town, I went and met all the people I'd worked with before. I literally didn't know where to begin, and I just started with meeting people. And Sanjay, of course, I called Sanjay. We worked together in Acid Factory, and we had a great experience shooting that film. And I just went, Sanjay, this is me, I'm back. Yeah. And I'm here to work. And if you have anything in mind, please keep me in mind. And to my surprise, which I didn't believe at that minute, he offered me a film on the spot right there and there.
It's just about destiny. It's just being at the right place at the right time. I had already cast Ritesh and we were looking to cast the second hero, and I just picked up the script and I gave it to him. I said, yeah, you read it. If you like it, it's yours.
And I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you sure? I said, you're offering me a movie? And that was the first project that I signed. So, I'm full of gratitude and extremely grateful to Sanjay for, he was the first producer to sign me again, and to have that belief and faith after a gap of 12 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very, very special, and it makes this film very close to my heart. Yeah. And we've all given it our all. So,
but what was also unique about it at that point of time? So I remember when Cookie came on board, because I wasn't directing it. So I gave the script to Cookie and I said, Cookie, we're making this with Fardeen and Ritesh. And he read the script and he came back and he's saying, sir, you cast completely against you know, because he plays this taxi driver from Dhongri, speaks in that dialect, and he is a pilot in a fancy. So we was, you know, it was against their images at that point of time. And I said, that's what's going to make it fun. And I said, for you as a director, you know, and I said that's what will make it challenging for him as well, you know, to go down and do something he hadn't done before. And now that he's making a comeback after so many years and everything, so it should be something where people sit up and take notice. You know, it cannot be a routine thing.
Especially when the trailer launched, I think the common comment from the audience was, it's so nice to see you do something different from what we all expect, right? Yes. So that's the most common comment. I want to ask you, Sanjay sir, that do you remember the first impression you had of Fardeen when you met him back then?
My impression of him is more from his dad than him, you know, I used to worship.
that follows me everywhere.
Yeah, so I worship Khan Saab, and all my filmmaking is, you know, derivative of his work and everything. So it was a you know, very, very natural
connect.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Sajid Khan used to often say, you know, Sajid would always say, he's the fourth Khan who only threatens, you know, threatens to be a superstar. Maybe, but he was just taking his own time.
But how do you think your relationship has evolved over the years, from Acid Factory to now, the two of you?
We are.
I mean, we may not meet for a long time, but when we meet, it never seems.
Well, in life, the amount you don't know is always greater than the amount you know. So having said that, we are both less ignorant, little wiser, you know, little reflective. And of course, you know, we both share the common passion of storytelling. And, you know, we've got to know each other better over the years. And
see, like for me,
he's a dad. I'm a dad.
That's Anand.
That's
you know, that's a huge
now.
thing. So he's settled. I'm settled. None of the old madness.
Yeah, the young madness.
You've asked me that, you know, I mean, why for the, you know. Yeah. See, I'm in that sense, I'm completely old school. I worked with Dutt and John and all these guys all my life. So for me, it is very important, you know, that when my hero walks into a room, people take notice. Yeah, you know, heads turn, and he should have that personality, which is very
right
much
here.
all here. So yeah, but that is the first criteria, and then rest is okay.
You know, while we say all this, I also know that internet is so brutal sometimes, right? And especially when he was making a comeback, there was so much trolling around his weight gain and all of the tough period that
2014.
I know, but I wanted to ask him that what was going on in your mind when he was going through this? Because the relationship that you shared is so special.
No, he was in London, I was here, and somewhere I said, this guy's enjoying life too much. He's not bothered because now he's a father and I'm a father, and I know what that feels like, you know, that's where your world begins and ends. So I said, great, he's having a good time. Let him, and when the, you know, time is right, he'll do something about it, and that's what he did.
Absolutely. I also want to congratulate you. What a comeback, Hiramandi, Khel Khel Mein, and now this also, right? Everybody who's seen all the movies that you've done and the series, they've loved you. And so I've loved everything that you've done. You know, I want to ask you, from the industry itself, what is that one comment or someone who came and hugged you for all the love that you've got from the audience? Who's done that after this amazing comeback?
All the people I've known and care about and who care for me also. I mean, they've just been happy that, one is of course professionally to see me back, but they've been happy on a personal level also. And that has been you know, I've maintained my relations, and my relations are based on mutual respect and trust, and even though I've been away, I've maintained a few relationships, and if I hadn't, it was my fault because I literally cut off for a long time. So I'd like to think that
I'm assuming you haven't met that post sunset.
So I'd like to think that, you know, there is goodwill. It's something that you earn based on mutual respect, and everyone's been happy. And you know, I think all of us come from that school of thought that, you know, when something good happens for someone else, you be happy for them, and we celebrate each other. So it's been very positive and very encouraging for me. So I'm just extremely grateful.
Touch wood.
I count my blessings.
We are constantly cribbing and crying. Heroes nahi hai, heroes nahi hai.
आ गए अभी.
So then, more than welcome, yeah.
But do you still feel that there is a certain amount of struggle for you right now to get the kind of roles that you actually want to do, or?
Every role is a struggle. You know, I mean, it's a very different landscape now. I think the perception and the way protagonists are being written is so different. I mean, these platforms have opened the floodgates for talent, whether it's writing, directing, acting, all of it. It's such a it's a new golden age of creativity and storytelling in India. So yes, I mean, finding my place is you know, I'm very curious to see how people, the new crop of writers, directors, or producers, you know, see me and how I could fit into this. So I'm just come with an open mind. I'm here to work. I'm literally just
doing.
Just doing. Of course, there are some genres I want to explore. There's the action genre I want to really get into. You know, sometime starting next year. So that's something I'm keen on. And one film at a time.
Yes.
We take it one film
step
at a time.
Yeah. Sounds super exciting. You know, I want to talk about this movie. The fact that there's so much debate going on about theatre versus OTT release, right? So for you as a filmmaker, how do you see the advantage of releasing a movie in theatre versus OTT? And for both of you, what is the measure of success when a movie releases on the OTT? Because there's no box office numbers involved here, right?
No. The thing is, what comes into play first is the intention. With what intention have you made the film? Because this film, and there's another film that I've just completed, these were both specifically created for OTT. So we were very clear that, you know, these are to be made for OTT, and that's where we will be releasing them. And that is why we've taken a certain amount of liberty with the writing of the film, with the characters of the film, and all of that. And I've not really thought, कि theatre mein kya hoga. So in that sense, you know, and definitely it takes the edge off. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that Friday number, you know, and everything. But they've created other numbers now on OTT also. And
metrics are always going to be there.
Yeah. So the point is that, you know, we've just gone and made our film. It's an honest film, you know, and it's the director has done a marvelous job, and I'm more than happy. You know, I think he's made one of the best films in my company. So it's just fallen into place. So, and don't really miss the theatre as such for this film. Yeah.
But how do you differentiate? Because see, also the fact that the success of Animals 3-2, people are talking about it right now, right? We also don't know the kind of movies that work in the theatre. So how do you differentiate?
See, that is why I'm saying that this is something, I wouldn't say that, you know, but I definitely saw this coming in the first lockdown itself, when we started getting hooked onto the TV sets and to watching shows and all of that. And I saw how it was changing. My kids were changing, my wife was changing, their consumption, my friends and family. So somewhere I knew that the theatre experience is going to suffer, and it will be very unpredictable for a while, because even the second lockdown then came and all of that. And yeah, and now as things stand, I feel that the audience today is extremely heartless.
Okay.
You know, and they're selfish. As long as they're getting entertained, they're happy. The minute you take them for granted, it's over.
They've also become so impatient.
And they smell it. They smell it. So if a director has not put his heart and soul, if a producer has not put his heart and soul, they just, you know, discard the film, irrespective.
The audiences also have evolved.
Yes.
And of course, it was turbocharged by the pandemic, as Sanjay said. They were spending so much time watching content, but not just any content. They're watching the best of world cinema.
Yeah.
So, I mean, their tastes have changed, and they've just become a lot more selective about what they choose to go and see. You know, at the end of the day, going to a cinema is, you know, time, energy, money, all of that. And it's, in some ways, you know, filmmakers, it's made them more cautious about what they're making. Well, not just cautious, but they got to raise their game, because otherwise you're not going to, you know, I mean, you can sit at home and you have the choice of world cinema on your phone or on your television or whatever it is. So you know, you got to give them the utmost respect now, and not that we hadn't earlier, but of course the bar is just
Very high right
much,
now.
much higher, and I think it's only going to be good. Yes, we are going through this change right now, as we speak and make movies, and
But I'm sure it's a
Basically,
good
what
change.
we're seeing is we're seeing the absolute death of mediocrity. And
It's like
laziness.
best or nothing. Yeah.
Yes. Now I mean, I go to a theater, if I've seen a director's work and I like his work, but if I see that, it really pisses me off. We have no business making movies if we're not going to give it our 110%. And it is something which was always there. My kids are discovering my films now because they're 11 and 13. So when they were watching my first film, Atish, and I was watching it, and I said to myself, every bloody scene in that film, every sequence, I gave it my 100%. And which was what? Which was when you saw a Feroz Khan film, when you see a Qurbani, there is every scene, he's gone and used every angle, music, performance. The same thing happens when you watch a Mani Ratnam film.
Yes.
Okay, the same thing used to happen when I used to watch a Mukul Anand film, a J.P. Datta film.
Ram Gopal Verma.
Ram Gopal Verma. So these guys, they gave it
Gave it their
all.
Yeah.
Sanjay Bansali.
Yes.
Even when I saw Gangu Pai, I was like, wow. I mean, I felt I was watching an Amitabh Bachchan film from the 70s.
Yeah.
With her dialogues and the way the scenes were constructed, just the manner in which she's sitting in that car and all of that. So, yeah, I mean, somewhere a bunch of us stopped working hard.
Hard. Yeah.
And we're paying the price for that.
But I'd just like to add that, even though the cinema going experience is being seriously challenged by technology, it's the shared experience of watching it in a darkened room with everyone. It brings people together and they can partake in being entertained or joy or whatever emotion of film affects you and makes you feel at the time. And that is always going to remain. So yes, cinema is experiencing its challenges, but I don't think it's ever going to go away.
Go away, for sure. for sure.
It's literally, I think, going through a transition, and this technology has been
boon,
a disruptor, but I think there's a
mix
lot
of
of
both.
good also coming
Yes.
out of it, and there are challenges for the old way of doing things. So everyone's just readjusting and
Readjusting,
rethinking.
yeah.
So I mean, it's great when the audiences are demanding,
Good movies.
better work.
Yeah.
I mean, better films, better storytelling, novel ideas, and it's just making us recalibrate and rethink.
It's a good transition, is what I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Fardeen, talk to me about the prep that you did for this role, the dialect, and also because we've always seen you in this soft kind of a role, right? So
Yes.
it's kind of different to see you on that trailer on the big screen. So how was that?
Like Sanjay mentioned earlier that at the initial casting stage, he had cast against type. I mean, I was a character from Dongri, and Ritesh is an upper middle class pilot. So, I mean, that was also a hesitation for me. Not a hesitation, but I was like, are you sure you see me in this role? Because after I read it, I was like, whoa. So, Sanjay, of course, gave him a certain backstory, which would make the character more credible. And then, of course, I had to sound like I was from Dongri. That was very, very important. So, Prabhat Ranganathan, who was helped me prep with the dialect and with the script prep, we really worked hard and just spent time reading till it just, you'll watch it in the film till it sounded natural to me. And it's because this character has a certain rawness, a certain authenticity that's gritty. He's someone who's really comes from a place where reality is very different to somebody from a South Bombay or an upper middle class person. So his whole orientation in life is very different. So we worked on just his mindset and of course the way he would sound, the way his attitude, and it's all come together good so far. People who've seen it have reacted very positively.
Yeah? Okay, amazing.
They were like, it's nice to see you in a role that we've never seen you before. And again, I would very thankful to Sanjay for having the foresight and saying this will really suit you to return with, and just the way Cookie has even captured Dongri and captured the essence of this character and the atmosphere. It's a very complex movie to tell because there's so much happening at one time. And every plot point has consequences for everybody. So the stakes are really high for everyone, and you're talking about life and death. So it was to bring that intensity and authenticity, and was very fulfilling for me. And I think we pulled it off. Now the audience
is now
I'll tell you something that it was all Cookie. He was always so very clear. He saw the film more than any of us in his head, and he was very clear that he wanted these two worlds because they collide. So right down to, I remember the first day we were shooting, and we were shooting Ritesh's house, and I just dropped in to say hi, and I saw Cookie, and he seemed a little upset, and I said, Cookie, are you okay, and all that. And he told me, he's saying, yeah, sir, but I'm not happy with the set. I said, what do you want? So he was very clear. He says, I want a blue carpet, I want more chrome, I want more glass, because I want this to have a colder look, and the warmthness I want over there. And I said, fine, and we canceled shoot for 3 days, and a new production designer came in and did it, and once he was happy, and then the way he has maintained that with both the places, even when he's shot in Dongri, that this is a completely different world. And what is really nice is if you see the body language of both of them. So here we've got a sharp pilot and sharp tucked shirts and tight trousers and everything, and then he's this cab driver from Dongri, but he's not doing the upon tupon kya re bol rahe. It's none of that, because people don't speak like that. That is just something we made up along the way in the 70s and 80s and 90s, So it was just that. So yeah, he's definitely not an Amir from Rangila.
Got it. Yeah, amazing. The way you guys have spoken about it, I know the amount of passion you've put in, and I can't wait to watch it. Super, super excited. I just have one last question. This question is from the audience more so, that out of all the movies that you've done so far, sir, if you could make a part 2 for any of your movie, which one would it be?
Surprisingly, and not because he's sitting here, the one movie I enjoyed making the most was Acid Factory.
Oh, wow.
Because I had this crazy cast and a crazier director, and we had Tinu Verma. So just for the heck of having all of them back
together.
On set together, and just having fun.
Yeah, I think the audience will also be happy with this answer. But all the very best. Can't wait to watch it. Thank you for such an amazing conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.